We have to sit. Are people sitting here? Or that's
No, it's all mine.
Oh, okay.
Move it around. I don't care.
Yeah, I just didn't want to like put this in front of other people.
No, nobody's here.
So I think it's already going. Yeah. So this is. You said Dave is your name? Dave, and I'm Jeff, and we go to similar churches in the area, but that's all I know about you. So. So maybe I'll start with that question. What do you think? What do you think happens after this life? Like, what do you think? What do you think? I'm pretty sure I can guess what you'll say, but
well, as a Christian, when I die, my physical body is done.
Yeah.
And I'm banking on the fact that since I believe in Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior, and that He died on the cross for me, that I will go to paradise.
Yes.
And that's what I tell people. I'm more street than I am church. I mean, I tithe to the church.
Yeah.
I'm retired. I make over $6,500 just in my pension and Social Security, but it doesn't do me any good to sit in a pew. Those people are either there for a reason or they're not.
Yeah.
And I might help a guy on the street with $20 so he can go get a bus pass.
Yeah.
Or something. But I'm not worried about what happens after this life. I'm totally consumed with the fact that I can't get anything done here. I mean, I'm trying to build a company. I can't even get there because I'm tied up in a legal thing with my truck. Everybody knows we're overtaxed in Illinois.
Yeah.
Terribly.
Yeah.
Lawyers, I've got a lawyer. I can't even get him to do what I want him to do.
Yeah.
Gave him $8,500, so now I got to go get a different lawyer who I trust completely.
Yeah.
And have her come in and take over the case and just knock it out so I can have my life back. I sold my house. Now I got to get an apartment for the next year, maybe two, until I get all of this resolved.
Like a tangled web.
This ain't God's plan.
No.
This ain't the golden years.
Right.
My union, I'm an electrical union. I can make $54 an hour plus package. And I can't even get there because I can't get my truck.
Oh.
I can't get a hard copy of a driver's license till I get an apartment. I can't get my Social Security. I had to go get my birth certificate replaced. They got you so tied up in this paper chase. My daughter calls it jumping through the hoops.
Yeah.
She's 40 years old. She's brilliant. She is a master's degree nurse midwife. Should have been a doctor.
Yeah.
But my ex-wife's brother became an MD, and he said, "Don't do it. You ain't gonna like the fact of what they run you through the meat grinder."
Yeah.
So, I put 2 kids through college. I've done so many things for people. It is a mind blower, even to me. Fixing their houses, taking care of seniors, widow, veterans.
Yeah.
But
how do you think? How would you describe your relationship with the Lord right now?
Well, I think I'm good with God. I'm just totally disappointed with the fact that you got people in Joliet, young black guys that never had a daddy.
Yeah.
They can't wake up and go to work. I've tried. And they'll steal from you. They'll lie to you and steal from you. That's been my experience.
Yeah.
I've had some bad times with young black guys, so I don't try him anymore. I tell him, if he's black, I don't care if God ordained him. I said, you don't work with me in my company. No. Because
is that a certain
it's a cultural problem. Oh yeah, anything from 16 on up to probably generations deep.
Yeah.
These black families or people come out of Chicago, they come down to Joliet. They're not in Minooka. Got any black people in Minooka?
A few, but yeah.
Yeah. Morris, no. Wilmington, no. Naperville, no. Plainfield, no. Mokina, no. Orland Park, no.
Yeah.
Because they bring trouble. And they're not trying to be better. They're not going to church. I mean, if you're in Chicago, I've talked to black ministers and their wives. They're like, I know, we're fighting City Hall here. These are not the kids. Your kids, your wife and you were watching their homework, getting ready for college. You know, even though you were divorced, you paid for 50% of college, carried $1 million major medical, traveled the country to ensure that your children had a chance. I go, this is never, you are the complete opposite of what we have here. You know, we've had to fight for the older black people trying to reach down into the young people. I go, good luck, because I had a squatter in my house with his wife and 4 kids, and then I couldn't get rid of him for 5 months. Then he threatened me, and the police had to come. He says, you got to evict him. I said, I don't have a lease. I was being a Christian.
Yeah.
He goes, you got to get him out. Okay, yeah. That's another $300. This is after I rebuilt his trailer so he could cut grass. What I didn't realize was this guy Sam has a tremendously low IQ. His wife is the driver. She's the one that makes money, but she's, you know, they got 4 kids. They're getting food stamps, Section 8, you know, free daycare, free preschool for their son. I mean, they need 4 kids like I need a hole in the head. So beyond them, I'm just trying to get back on my feet from medical bills and being down under for a while. I went to Texas for 6 months. Texas is not for me. I just didn't like it. But I think, you know, I mean, I have black people in this church.
Yeah, so when you said that you're more street than church, does that mean you don't go to church, or you?
No, I go to church.
Go to church. And pretty active in the church?
No, I don't do anything in the church.
Oh.
Except go to church.
Okay. But
there's no job for me there. They have their associate pastors. They have their meetings all weekend long. I couldn't even get in a building one weekend to give them a check, a tithing.
Oh, is this because it's locked, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't know if the church had like other programs or things going on throughout the week or anything like that.
No.
Yeah.
Pastor's a good guy, Rusty. He's trying to do the best he can. But there's black there, I suppose Asian, Latino, white, whatever. But they're not the black I'm used to seeing.
Yeah.
They're older black.
Yeah. Yeah. So
they don't understand there's a physical part to life, psychological, spiritual. You know, this is not an easy time to live.
Yeah.
You better get smart.
And I imagine, Dave, would you say it's true that, like, this has been your experience through your business, dealing with a certain group of people?
No, my personal life.
And if you had been in a different part of the country where there's a whole nother population, you'd be telling me about the problems you had with whatever other population, right? I mean,
no, I don't think so.
No?
No. I mean, I was in Washington by my daughter. She's on Camano Island, married, 2 children. My son's in Naperville. He's fine. But the element isn't there.
Yeah. Yeah.
They can't afford to live there. They don't have the education to even go there. That's the difference. And the further north you get, you don't have black people because they can't handle it.
Yeah.
They're the generational problem of Detroit, Minneapolis, Chicago, the older cities. I didn't do this. I learned this over years.
Yeah.
My dad didn't have any black plumbers. You know, I mean, that's just the way it is. I didn't create DuPage County.
Right. Yeah.
They're all in Chicago, and when they pull out of Chicago, it's because they don't want to get killed. They hide in their apartments. Even Sam told me, he goes, oh yeah, I never went out. Why not? Well, they'll kill you. Yeah, but you're a black guy. And they're black guys. Doesn't matter. They'll kill you.
So, Dave, did you grow up in Joliet, or?
No. I'm from Wheaton, Naperville.
Wheaton, Naperville. Did you, would you say that you've been a Christian most of your life, or like what?
Well, I grew up in a Catholic church, and then
Catholic.
That didn't work after a while because I don't have to call a priest if I want to talk to God. So after being an altar boy and a reader of the epistle, all that stuff, I finally, in my late teens, I got married at 23. I actually went to a Calvary church on Route 59, and I'm pretty certain that's where I started my Christian walk.
Yeah.
Accepted Jesus as my Lord and Savior.
How old were you then?
25.
Okay.
I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Robert Schmidgall was there at that time. Very dynamic. Unfortunately, at 55, he had a heart attack.
Swindoll?
Yeah. And then they got another...
That's a famous name. Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't know he was from this area. Yeah.
I can't think of it. I went to that Barrington church a few times just to check it out.
Yeah.
Big place.
Yeah.
No, it's other than the black thing, I'm fine. I just got to fight my way through some money stuff and forget about these people. Joliet's not good.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Do you feel like so kind of the way I see it is the Bible talks about our relationship with God. And, when I think about the cross, it's like our relationship with God and our relationship with our fellow man, right?
Right.
And, love the Lord your God with all your heart, and love your neighbor as yourself. And sometimes we can't choose our neighbors. But do you feel like the churches you've been involved with have helped you love your neighbor as far as whatever their background, and maybe black too? Have they given you...
On a general point, I mean, I know black guys that are very good people.
Yes.
Very responsible.
Yeah.
In fact, they're the ones that wanted to come to my house. They said, screw the police, we'll throw them out.
Yeah.
I go, well, he lied to me. Then he lied to me again. Then he threatened me in my own kitchen. The only reason I didn't throw him out was because I was busy helping a guy at his duplex in Crest Hill before I left for Texas. No, there's no church that's going to teach me the 10 Commandments. What, again?
Right, yeah.
I will love my neighbor, but I'm not going to let him step on my neck and choke me out.
Okay. Yeah.
So
we're not called to be doormats.
No. And like I say, I think I've done a major amount of effort to help all peoples. And I would continue to do that.
Yeah.
And still tithe and still go to church and still do this and still do that. But you're right. I'm not going to lay down anymore. I don't lay down for my men. I says, you work with me. You don't have to work for me. But you try to step on me, I will drive you into the ground. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
God never said, what do you think St. Michael does, the archangel? God calls him because he's a general of legions.
Okay.
I go, you think he's having tea and crumpets? I go, he's fighting the enemy. Rusty calls him the enemy. I go, you're right, he's not a pitchfork. Yeah. And I think that hell is separation from God. There is no life force. There is no pleasure. There is no future. You are eternally out of God's picture.
Yeah.
And I think that I can't tell you exactly what Jesus did when he, rose from the dead. And they said, oh, well, he went to hell and all this stuff. I said, well, if Jesus went to hell, I said, it must have ticked off the enemy because...
Yeah, I'm not so sure that we have to believe that Jesus went to hell.
No.
He definitely went through hell, like a hell on earth, I guess you'd say.
Yeah. But it's like...
There's nothing that says that he... Yeah. I know some Christians believe he did.
Some people say that.
Yeah.
Now, you got Jesus is on walking in his sandals. And I like Anthony Hopkins. He says... he had no education, but he was considered a teacher.
Yeah.
He had no money, but he didn't need it. He goes like this, and he goes, Lazarus, come out.
Yeah.
He takes loaves and fishes and feeds, 4,000 and 5,000. Born in a stable, nothing. Carpenter. That centurion. I told this to a Chicago pastor and his wife, Black, who have a Cook County Jail ministry. And I said, what do you think about the centurion? And they go, oh. I said, you know where I'm going, don't you? And they go, yeah. So he sends a servant, and the servant goes, oh, my centurion has sent me because our servant is dying. And Jesus says, well, we are going that way. I will come. And then the centurion told him, he goes, you don't have to come. All you have to do is say the word, and then we'll be done.
Yeah.
So he does it. And then Jesus said, I have never seen the faith of the Israel nation or the Israel people. And yet this man's a Roman with 100 people under his command. He says go and they go. He says come and they come.
Yeah.
Pretty remarkable for a bloodthirsty, barbaric time like that.
Yeah.
When you can crucify men. And then that criminal on the side of Jesus, he believes in God. And he says, today, you will be with me in paradise.
Yeah.
He didn't say, well, I'm going to think about this. You got to go through judgment. You might have to go down and hang in a hotel in purgatory.
You know, when you bring up the centurion, and I guess the thief too, but the centurion, I've always viewed him as like, okay, he's a righteous man. He takes care of, like, I think they said that he helps the Jews. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else, but you're right. He would be in charge of crucifying dozens of people. Think nothing of it.
Yeah.
And yet Jesus called him faithful, and he was faithful. That's interesting that you bring that up. And even the thief on the cross, like, he put his faith in Jesus, but did he have time to change his lifestyle before he died?
I doubt he ever went.
No, I mean, he died,
Insurance.
Right. So, it was a bad guy, but yet he put his faith in Jesus and went to heaven, And
yeah, why would he say, today you will be with me in paradise?
Right, exactly.
Why? You should be in judgment. Then they'll decide if you go into,
that's what it should be, yeah. But Jesus, apparently he had put his faith in Jesus, So I guess I want to maybe put in a word of hope for, you deal with a lot of rough characters. They happen to be black, right? Rough around the edges, but I'll bet you a lot of them, even though they don't, they're maybe not responsible in a lot of different ways, or maybe some of them still have faith in Jesus, even though, kind of like those people in the Bible. I mean, I guess one thing that I've learned to do with
I've left the door open, even in my company.
Yeah.
But I'm not seeking them out anymore.
Yeah.
The door's open.
You've learned your lessons.
You have to learn to be a man and wake up in the morning. And we work from 7 to 3:30. If you can't do that, don't ever come to me.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't want your phone call. I'm offering you $100,000 a year as a journeyman in 5 years. I'm offering to help you with the union. I'm offering to give you $2 million for your retirement, plus $100,000 a year. I says everything is there for the taking, and you even have the edge because you're a minority, and the Federal Labor Department will tell the union to take you. I've known 3 black men in my whole career, very successful.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know where all the other guys are. I go drive a bus. You ain't gonna make no $54 an hour, dude.
Right. True.
And my license is in 50 states. I can even travel abroad. I said, I can become an owner. I can become a union official. I said, you have nothing.
It's hard to see people throwing away opportunities that are in front of them. It's maddening, actually.
I go, you could actually be the beginning of a terrible legacy turned correct.
Yeah.
You could start the black man, and I know there's a black minister out there. I saw him one time. He's talking about these kids. He goes, they have had the worst example.
Yeah.
He said, now we're trying to help these young guys get married, learn how to be workers.
You gotta have role models to see what is a good worker, a good work ethic, a good husband, a good father.
I mean, I think ministers, it wouldn't bother me at all if Rusty got up and go, look, I can get up here Sunday after Sunday after Sunday. But here's what I'm going to tell you. You can say you believe in Jesus. You can sit in this church and drop 20 in the plate. Great. We all need the money.
Yeah.
He says, but the bottom line is, if you don't go out and apply the Bible to your life and set the example for your family, why am I here? I'm giving you scripture and verse right here.
Yeah.
This ain't me. This is God. And by the way, you will go to hell. There is a hell, whatever hell is.
Yeah.
You know, or you can go to paradise. Make your choice like an adult. Because if you don't make it, life's going to make it for you.
You know, the thing I think about that, though, is churches, if it's a good church, it should be filled with mature Christians and immature Christians, and maybe even unbelievers who have come with those Christians, right? And if they have a lot of immature Christians, it kind of depends on how long they've been coming there. Hopefully they're kind of new, you know? And yeah, they should be immature because they're new Christians, right? So like, no, there's no church that, well, most churches don't have like all mature people, because if they're mature in their faith, then they're bringing other people along with them, you know? So
they're all relying on a mentor called the pastor, the minister.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're out here doing something. I give you credit for that. You're the first guy that's ever approached me, and you're doing this. I'm 67 years old. I never even been talked to. I had to go.
Have you ever had anyone like, other than a Jehovah's Witness, like give you a Bible tract or try to start any kind of a conversation?
Oh yeah, I had Jehovah's at my house over here.
Other than that, because they're pretty active.
Oh yeah, I mean, even at Morning Star missions, shelters, hospitals.
But not out of the blue, like.
Have you noticed that they don't put Bibles in hotels anymore?
Yeah.
I've stayed in 4 hotels recently. One had a Bible.
Yeah, I haven't been to enough hotels to know, but it kind of depends on where you are and if they have a local Gideon chapter.
No.
Yeah.
My thing is, what if I was very successful? What if God says, test me on this in Malachi. Bring the tithe in the storehouse and test me to see if I don't open up the doors of heaven and bless you with everything you need. He said, he didn't say, oh, I'm going to make you rich.
Yeah.
You're a lotto winner. You know, what he said was, test me.
He did.
That means as long as you're consistent, he's consistent.
Yeah.
It might be something in your favor. Oh, I get a contract so I can keep my men working. My car just doesn't break down. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I do maintenance on it, but things can happen.
So, Dave, do you find ways to share the gospel or share your faith with out in the world?
I probably have in the last year talked to more people about God than I ever have. I don't know why, it just came out.
Yeah.
You know, and people listen.
Yeah.
I don't know them. I don't know if they do anything with it.
Yeah, no, I have these conversations all the time. My goal is at least one a day of a gospel. I call it gospel conversation with somebody new every day. It might be with a believer like yourself, or it might be with an atheist or someone from another religion or whatever. But to me, that's a reasonable goal that I ask God to help me with.
No, that's pretty good.
And when it's bad weather or when I'm super busy, it's I got to get pretty creative.
Now, I thought of something. Okay, Victory City Church. Okay, I went there a long time ago. But they had, I don't know if it was a deacons or what. They had a big brouhaha, and I said, no. I got to do my life. I can't be coming to church I like the music, I like the Bible and all this, but I go, I'm not going to come here to fight.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
once that was all over and time passed, then I saw victory coming. Well, they probably have at least 12 to 15 acres of land. I'm a builder. I mean, I could go to Rusty someday and say, well, here's what I'm going to do. I don't need all this money. I'm very successful. So I've been giving you 10% of whatever I make. I'll give you 20%. Then I'll give you another 10% if you agree to let me help you find the funding to get another building out back. And you can use it as a multiple use center. Okay, for like basketball in the winter. Okay, but you also got to have an area where you might have. I mean, you got a multi-million-dollar mental health center at the end of that jail down there, right here on McDonough.
Yeah.
Okay. But I go, why don't you have more people coming to church? It's not getting to people. And if it is, okay, cool. Where?
So you're saying the church needs to do more outreach, or have something to serve the community. That's what I hear you saying. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? What would you say if I came to your church and I go, I am loaded for bear, and it's not stopping. I'm like the Bill Gates of the electrical contracting world. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my buddies together and we're going to fund a brand new building. All you got to do is say yes. But you got to have a recovery center with professional people. And we're going to handle their payroll, and we're going to handle their insurance, and we're going to cover the building with fire alarm and sprinkler and make it beautiful. And then we might even do an add-on to that, and we'll do that basketball shooting and artistic center. There's guys in county jail that are really good at art.
Yeah,
I've seen it. It is a mind blower.
Do you have any kind of a ministry with the county jail? Like, you seem like you're kind of aware of it. What's going on there?
No, I've thought of it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Should they do it? Yeah, they should be doing a lot of it.
Yeah.
Because the guys coming out of jail, that's the people you want to grab, because as tough as they are and whatever they've done with vengeance. If you could turn that back this way, then you probably would have a committed crew.
Yeah.
Of guys.
A lot of them have some extra time in jail, and they do say that they want to follow the Lord, and then they get out in the world again, and they got all these temptations and all these decisions to make, and then they forget about it.
Well, and there's the other thing. You could have it.
Religion is a very real thing.
You could have guys like me coming in there and talking to them about.
Yeah.
Okay, I represent 44,000 people in 9 counties. In the United States, I represent 850,000 union electricians. Now, I've traveled. I know what it is. I have a master electrical license. I have men. I have trucks. I have insurance. I have tools. I said, what are you going to do once you're out? Personally, if a guy offered me this, I'd be jumping at it. Yeah. For $25 to apply to the union and then get all the training, you don't even have to pay the teachers. It's paid by the National Electrical Contractor Association and the union. I go, how could you not?
Yeah. There again, it's hard to see people don't have the tools to take advantage of the opportunities available to them.
I don't think they even know.
Yeah.
I don't think they know what's out there because nobody ever told them.
Yeah, true.
And I learned about I was going Navy. I wanted Annapolis, but when we moved out of Naperville to Sandwich, Illinois, I lost all the connection I had for a congressman to get me into flying, going to Annapolis for Navy and getting on a carrier. I would have never been an electrician.
I'm gonna shut this off and but you could keep talking.
So,
No.
you know, some